Good afternoon. Welcome to my presentation on hydrophobicity signal analysis for robust SARS-CoV-2 classification. In this work, we introduce a novel approach that leverages convolution neural network and hydrophobicity signal to effectively classify SARS-CoV-2 and non-SARS-CoV-2 viruses. Let's explore how this method addresses key challenges in genomic data analysis. The primary objective of our study is to develop a new approach that uses convolution neural network, or CNN, to classify viral sequences. Instead of relying on traditional nucleotide-based method, we focus on hydrophobicity signal derived from DNA sequences. By converting genetic sequence into image-based representation, CNN can better handle the complexity and variability of viral data. Our approach achieves high accuracy, over 99.84%, and is more efficient than traditional methods. This provides a reliable solution for virus detection with potential application in bioinformatics and clinical diagnosis. Genomics has revolutionized our understanding of biological processes. With high throughput sequencing, we now generate vast amount of data, but this brings its own challenges. In the context of viral pandemics such as COVID-19, rapid and accurate analysis of viral genome is critical for public health responses. The SARS-CoV-2 virus, like other viruses, mutate rapidly, requiring us to develop more efficient computational tools to keep up with evolving pathogens. Importance of hydrophobicity. Hydrophobicity, a fundamental property of amino acid, plays a significant role in protein folding, stability, and interaction. Hydrophobic residues tend to cluster within proteins, maintaining structural integrity, and this property is essential for understanding viral behavior. In our study, we leveraged the hydrophobicity profile of protein to inform the classification of viral sequences. By using this profile, we extract biologically relevant features that provide deeper insight into the viral mechanism and potential therapeutic target. Traditional methods like PCR, sequencing, and serological assays have been critical in viral analysis, but they come with limitations. These methods struggle with the complexity and variability of viral genetic material. Similarly, conventional machine learning approach often require fixed sequence lengths, which isn't practical for highly variable viral genomes. They also demand extensive pre-processing to extract useful features from genetic data, limiting their speed and adaptability. Our solution addresses these challenges by utilizing convolution neural network, or CNN, and transforming genetic sequences into hydrophobicity-based images. This novel approach not only simplifies the pre-processing step, but also allows CNN to handle the complexity of viral data more efficiently. By using hydrophobicity, a biologically significant property, we enhance the classification process, making it more accurate and adaptable than traditional method. Our study contributes to the field in several key ways. First, we introduce a novel use of hydrophobicity signal for viral classification. This provides a biologically relevant way to represent genetic information. Second, we apply CNN to transform these genetic sequences into visual representation, which improve the model ability to manage complex and variable data. Finally, our approach improves flexibility and efficiency. It overcomes the limitation of traditional sequence-based method by eliminating the need for fixed length and reducing the amount of pre-processing required. Our paper structure. Let me briefly outline the structure of our paper. In section 2, we detail our methodology, including how we collected and prepared the data, the implementation of our CNN model, and the experimental setup. Section 3, Section 3 present the result and discussion, where we compare the performance of our approach to baseline machine learning models and previous studies. Finally, Section 4 concludes the paper and suggests future direction. Finally, Section 4 concludes the paper and suggests future direction for research. Method overview. In this section, we focus on the classification of SARS-CoV-2 and non-SARS-CoV-2 viruses using CNN. Our CNN with heterophobicity signals derived from DNA sequences, and our method addressed two key limitations of traditional approach, the need for fixed-length sequences and the extensive pre-processing typically required in the conventional machine learning. We collected data from NCBI virus. Our data is DNA sequences of 7 coronavirus. In total, our dataset contains 8,143 sequences, with 3,900 classified as SARS-CoV-2 and 4,156 classified as non-SARS-CoV-2. The sequence lengths vary, ranging from 8 base pairs to over 31,000 base pairs. This wide range of length highlights the need for an approach that can handle such variability efficiently. The table here shows the detailed breakdown of the dataset. We continue to the data preparation. We translated the DNA sequence consisting of the nucleotide, adenine, cytosine, guanine, and thymine into amino acid sequences using the standard genetic coder. You can see in the equation A, the translation function read the DNA sequence in triplet or codon and convert them into corresponding amino acids. This process can be expressed mathematically as shown on the slide. If the sequence length is not divisible by 3, the remaining nucleotides are ignored. Once the sequences are translated into amino acid, we use the Kite-Doolittle scale to assign a heterophobicity value to each amino acid. This creates a heterophobicity profile for the entire sequence. It can be represented as a sequence of values H1, H2, till to Hn. To prepare the data for CNN processing, we divide the heterophobicity sequence into window of size W. We then calculate the average heterophobicity value within each window and then reshape this average into a metric. Next, we normalize the metric of heterophobicity values to ensure that the pixel values of the image fall within the range of 0 to 255, which is standard for grayscale images. The final result is a two-dimensional image that represents the heterophobicity profile of each sequence. This image becomes the input of our CNN model, allowing it to learn spatial pattern within the sequences. Our CNN model is designed with multiple convolutional layers to capture the spatial pattern within the heterophobicity images. The model includes 3 convolutional layers, each followed by map pooling layers to reduce the spatial dimension while retaining essential features. The convolutional layers are responsible for identifying patterns, while the map pooling layers help downsample the data, reducing the computational complexity. Here is the diagram of our CNN model. This diagram provides an overview of the architecture of our CNN model. It starts with input images of dimension 128 times 128, which are passed through a series of convolutional layers. The first layer applied 32 filters with a 3 times 3 kernel, followed by MAC pooling. The second layers apply 64 filters and the third apply 128 filters, but also followed by MAC pooling layers. After the convolutional layers, we use fully connected dense layer with 512 units, which is integrate the extracted features. The output is a single unit with a sigmoid activation function, indicating whether the sequence is classified as SARS-CoV-2 or non-SARS-CoV-2. To ensure the effectiveness of our CNN model, we compare its performance against several traditional machine learning models, including support vector machine, k-nearest neighbors, logistic regression, decision trees, random forest, XGBoost, and multi-layer perceptron. These models were selected to provide a comprehensive comparison across different types of classifiers, both linear and nonlinear. We evaluated all models using standard performance metric. Our dataset was divided into training, validation, and test set, with 70% used for training, 15% for validation, and 50% for testing. We evaluated the model using accuracy, precision, recall, event score, and area under curve ROC to assess their performance. Additionally, we tested our model robustness by using sequences longer than those in the training set. This allows us to evaluate how well the model generalizes to unseen data with varying sequence length. All experiments were conducted using Kaggle Notebook with an Intel Xeon CPU, an NVIDIA Tesla P100 GPU with 16 GB of memory and 29 GB of RAM. We use TensorFlow and Keras for implementing the CNN and scikit-learn for the baseline machine learning model. The combination of high-performance hardware and optimized libraries allow us to efficiently handle large dataset and complex computation. Here is our result. In this section, we present the experimental result in 5 parts. First, we'll compare our proposed CNN method with baseline model using sequence length that match the training data. Then we evaluate its performance with extended sequence length. Next, we assess the computational time required for training and prediction. We also analyze the confusion metric and area under curve to evaluate the model discriminative ability. Finally, we compare our method with previous studies. Here, we compare the performance of our proposed CNN model with various baseline methods using test data that has sequence length matching those used in training. The tables show the metric, accuracy, precision, recall, F1 score, and OCROC. Our CNN with use hydrophobicity signal perform a baseline model, achieve a 99.84% accuracy and a perfect recall of 100%. These results show that our model is highly effective in classifying both positive and negative cases, outperforming traditional sequence-based method by about 0.8% across all metrics. Its ability to use hydrophobicity signal allows it to capture more intricate patterns that conventional models miss. To evaluate robustness, we tested the model using sequences longer than those in the training set. As shown in the table, baseline methods like SVM and KNN saw a significant drop in performance, with accuracies below 60%. In contrast, our CNN model maintained a high accuracy of 99.99%, with over 99% for all other metrics as well. This demonstrated that the CNN's ability to process hydrophobicity signals allows it to generalize well even with longer sequences, maintaining high classification accuracy while baseline methods struggle to adapt. In this comparison, we use hydrophobicity signal as input features for all classifier, not just CNN, while SVM and our CNN achieve perfect score across all metric. Some baseline methods like KNN show strong recall but lower precision, leading to lower F1 scores. Notably, random forest and XGBoost perform well with accuracy over 99%. However, the CNN and SVM model clearly stand out as the most reliable for using hydrophobicity signal to classify viral sequences. They achieve the best balance between precision and recall. We also measure computation time for training and prediction, as shown in the table, while our CNN model required slightly more time to train compared to some baseline model. Its prediction time was efficient at 0.3 seconds per sample. Though SVM and Gipus took significantly longer to train, the CNN training time of 58.6 seconds strike a good balance between computational cost and accuracy. Importantly, the CNN prediction time remained fast, making it practical choice for real-time application. To further evaluate our model, we look at the confusion metric and our CROC curve. From the confusion metric, we can see that our model made only two false positive prediction and no false negative, leading to an extremely high true positive and true negative count. The ROC curve, the ROC curve also shows excellent performance with an ROC score of 0.99, indicating that the CNN model is highly effective at distinguishing between SARS-CoV-2 and non-SARS-CoV-2 cases across different threshold values. Comparison with previous studies, finally, we compare our result with previous studies on SARS-CoV-2 classification. Randawa et al. Achieved 100% accuracy using KMS, but their method took over 2 seconds per classification, with limited generalizability. Lopez-Rincon, the neural network, achieved 98.73% accuracy, but faced dataset imbalances. Singh et al. Method reached 97.47% accuracy, but their model was trained on partial coding sequences, and our CNN method, by contrast, provide over 99.91% accuracy, balances all performance metric, and complete a classification in just 0.3 seconds. It is make our model more reliable and efficient approach for real-time virus detection. And here is the conclusion. In our study, we developed a robust classification model that uses hydrophobicity signal derived from DNA sequences to distinguish between SARS-CoV-2 and non-SARS-CoV-2 virus. This classification has significant implication, not just for understanding viral genome, but also for advancing drug discovery and supporting public health intervention. Our robust model consistently outperformed baseline method, achieve over 99% in all key metrics, including accuracy, precision, recall, advanced score, and OCR/OC. Unlike baseline method, which struggle with longer test sequences, our model showed resilient, maintaining strong performance even when handling sequences that differ from the training data. Hydrophobicity signal as superior features. One of the key reasons for this superior performance is the use of hydrophobicity signal as input features. The signal provides a more consistent and informative representation compared to raw sequence data. While baseline method perform well in terms of precision and OCR/OC, but they struggle with recall and accuracy, particularly when dealing with variable sequence length. Our model achieved balanced performance across all metrics, indicating optimal threshold selection. This balance is low, the model to generalize well across different data samples, providing comprehensive coverage of both positive and negative cases. Additionally, this balanced performance reduced concern about overfitting, ensuring the model remain reliable in diverse real-world scenarios. Looking ahead, there are several areas for improvement. First, we plan to optimize the model computational efficiency to make it even more practical for large-scale application. Second, we will explore additional feature extraction technique to further enhance performance. Lastly, it will be crucial to validate the model prediction with biological and experimental data, strengthening its applicability for virus classification in real-world setting. In conclusion, our proposed method shows great promise for rapid virus detection, offering a reliable tool for bioinformatic application. Its high accuracy and generalization ability contribute to more effective public health intervention, potentially improving how we respond to viral outbreak in the future. Thank you.